Let's go a little bit farther into Matthew. This will be part 11, and this is where Jesus starts teaching about those that are blessed are rewarded, I think. The text here, going into this one might be a little longer than the other ones because this has got a lot of text. Now, I want to try to keep it as a group just for the sake of the video. And we're going to have to start here. Okay, this is the text that just finished up. And remember, we have a great multitude followed him. Okay, now, the first thing I need to do is tell you that the word mountain in the Bible is just wrong. It's listed over 360 times as a mountain or mountains. And in Israel, there are no mountains. So of the 300 plus times that they're saying that there's mountains in Israel is just flat out lie. Let's take a look at that by opening up the internet and then going to Israel Geographical Maps. And I have this clicked here, topographical. And then you can start seeing the land structure. Notice here, yeah, it's showing up. And maybe put me back in here. The object here is that you can see that there's no mountains here because it's higher up over here. And these are known as mounts when they're flat like this across the top. So you can see that there's a lot of hill countries with mounts here. Okay. Let's see if I can find some more text here to show, or more images. This one here looks good. Although this looks like it's got the same height as here. I don't think that's quite what I wanted to show here. What's this here? I guess it's not detailed enough for me to see. Oh, here, down here. This is really good. I like this one. Now, this shows you the heights over here, which is known as Jordan today. And then this is Israel. Moses looked down from Israel from here, I think, somewhere here, on all Israel, and he called it a hill country. So you can see that the Jordan River down here is really, let's see if I can draw a straight line here. Yeah, okay. So when you look at how deep this is compared to how high it is, it's almost in reverse. But the object is there are no mountains in Israel, okay? Now that you've got that, let's get back to the text. Not sure what's wrong with my video. Gonna have to take a look at that. Looks like I've got it extended here. I'm looking a little stretched. Okay, but you don't really worry about that. So in the Gospels, it's mentioned, mountains is mentioned 29 times. I've removed that and put the word hill or hills in. So Jesus never went up a mountain, okay? He went up a hill, and I don't know if I could even say that a mount, but when Jesus saw the multitude, now, actually, we got a great multitude follow him, so he knew there was a mountain. So after Jesus looked at the multitude, not that he saw the multitude, he knew they were following him, so he had to look at the multitude and not us. The multitude means many, so S would be meaning more, I guess, than that, but the multitude of people. And he went up. He didn't went up. He walked up a mountain, not a mountain, but a hill, and sat down, okay? Now, don't need to know that the disciples came to him because we don't really have them as disciples yet, because we don't have all of them yet. So they're followers as far as I know right now. Okay, why do I have this verse? Okay, I see that I made it as one verse. I should have labeled that 1 and 2 here. But anyways, we don't know that when we speak, we know that we open our mouths, so he didn't need to open his mouth. Then he began teaching, okay? Now the word began here, this color is representing that in the New American Standard Bible, 1977, they decided to add this word right here. And what I'm going to do is say, okay, it's usable. I could have left it out, but the object is he did begin teaching, okay? And he didn't need to teach and say to them. He began teaching. He was speaking. Here, I'm going to go over 3 verses at a time here. Blessed are the poor. And in spirit, we learn that the word spirit means breath. Now, I've got a video going through all the explanation of the difference of the word spirit in a video in the description. By that, I mean when we find that we're talking about unclean spirits, they're actually demons. But unclean spirits, I think, is listed more than 25 times. So why do you use 2 words for 1 word? And I don't know how the spirit would be known as unclean or clean, except for that they're demons. So I shortened it up and put it as demons. But here, when we look at the word spirit, poor in spirit, there's blessed are the poor. That defines people that are not with the great wealth as far as material things. Okay, so don't need the word spirit. It just poor in spirit, because the word spirit can't be soul here. It can't mean breath here. So it's just going to get removed. And then I needed to put for many, I needed to put the words for many will be in my kingdom in heaven. Theirs is the kingdom of heaven, which doesn't really make any sense. Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom in heaven. To correct the text, it needs to be Jesus's kingdom, and it is in heaven with all capital letters. And then the text that I'm removing says, blessed those who mourn, they will be comforted. Blessed are the gentle, they will inherit the earth. Well, the gentle never inherit the earth. So this here is pretty much a lie. Jesus is lying because you don't inherit the earth, okay? They never did. The poor or those that don't have wealth or are in power never inherit the earth or rule over the earth or rule over to make a better life for everybody. It always seems that those in power try to dictate over other people what to think and what to say. So blessed are the gentle, they will inherit the earth. There aren't inheriting earth. Jesus is talking about his kingdom in heaven. So everything is to enter into heaven. So this verse here is not truthful. Now the one above it, let's see here. Blessed are those who mourn, they will be comforted. Not really. There's at no time that those that are mourning get comforted. It's kind of a mourning is a mourning. Okay, it's a sad situation that someone dies early in life. has to suffer before they end up leaving Earth, but you're going to live afterwards. So this mourning that we feel for each other on Earth um, can't really be comforted until we know that they're safe in heaven, because you're for those who are have the belief that there's afterlife and we have a creator, which is what the text here reveals to us. We hope that every one of our loved ones do end up in heaven, but many of them will not. I mean, you're seeing that um, example. Jesus said to follow him. How many people out there are actually onto our creator's calendar so they are not working on a Sunday? Now, that is just ridiculous that people call themselves Christians and don't do the things Jesus said to do. There are many things that Jesus said to do, and Jesus was to fulfill all the laws and commands by our creator. Why shouldn't we be doing the same thing? Um, but I don't find anyone out there obeying our creator's uh, calendar. I didn't when I was at work. Um, since I've retired, I've stayed true to those days to sit and think and wonder and communicate with our creator um, about what he is trying to do for us to enter into heaven. So this here verse here, bless those who mourn will be comforted. We don't know if they're going to be comforted until we enter into heaven, because all Jesus' teaching is about his kingdom into heaven. So those verses just are not going to be stuck in the text as goes forward here. So we have one verse here left. Now comes this single verse. Blessed are those who hunger, thirst for righteousness. They will be satisfied. They aren't satisfied. The text, when I've got it cleaned up, is blessed are those who hunger for righteousness. You can't thirst for righteousness, but you can have a hunger for righteousness. Now, what is our righteousness? Obeying our creator. Quit using the secular dictionary to define a word in the text that was written over 2,000 years ago. The secular world doesn't believe in our creator, so stay away from secular world as much as possible and understand what the words truly are defined as. When they say Abraham or what was it, Noah was a righteous man before our creator. Well, that means that he was obeying our creator. Okay. Now, when it comes down to being satisfied, that is not true. You can't be satisfied on earth even if you have righteousness. What you do is you understand you will have a reward. I really don't like the word reward here, but I will highlight it later and say that that's a questionable word that should be changed. Just not at this time. I'm looking to put the text together to see if there's a better word to be put there. Example will be will enter heaven, but that's more than one word. I guess I can't think of a word right now, but the object is the word rewarded, meaning is to enter into heaven. Jesus is talking about his kingdom in heaven. So a little bit of correction there, not much, but it's needed to be more truthful. These two verses here, I only needed to add the word my here and their heart. They will see God. And I changed God to title the title word God to his name, YV. So the thing here is very little change here as well. So we can move on to this text here. Blessed are the peacemakers, they will be called sons of God. Well, here again, we're leaving out women in the verse. Women have a more kindness than men. They have more heartfelt situations over things and different. So if there's one that's going to be try to be the peacemaker, it's going to be a female or a woman. So we have to make sure that they are included here in the verse. So changing the word sons to children for YV is more correct and being correct truthfully. If you find a verse in the Bible that says women will go to heaven, please put it in the text or in the comments below so I can read it, so I can use it and say, there's one. I haven't found it yet. Now, this verse, you can see I'm adding the word their righteousness, not for their sake of righteousness. See, this writer doesn't understand what the word righteousness means. He has it listed as a secular meaning, not for the sake of righteousness. Righteousness is that we are obeying our Creator. So their righteousness is what we're talking about. They're being those that are being persecuted for their obedience to our Creator, and that's their righteousness, not for the sake of righteousness. Okay. But then when it comes down to here, I didn't need to use the word theirs because it has to be more or less they will be in my kingdom, and not this theirs will be the kingdom of heaven. Jesus is always talking about his kingdom. That's what he's doing. Okay. So it's my kingdom. Jesus would be talking about my kingdom, not there's in the kingdom of heaven. See, when they use the word of heaven, like I was saying in the videos before, heaven is just a space for life to exist in. Example, where the birds fly is known as the third heaven. So we can exist here on earth. There's space between the stars, but for the stars to exist, they need space between them. That's the second heaven. In heaven above the North Star is where our Creator lives. So we have this understanding that there's going to be something like what we experience here on earth. So the word has to be in heaven, not of heaven. Simple words that needed to be changed and truthful. Like I've suggested before to a lot of people, now that you're seeing the truth being revealed and why you have the right to put it into a word processor and then edit it what our Creator has given you as the truth. If you just did the 4 Gospels and go over and over and over, I'm still learning. I've been at this example. I put in probably more than 15-hour days for like 5 years, okay, to get to the text. And I've been studying the text in the Bible since I've been 11, okay? So I'm still learning even today. So if you do this and you go through and you think you're done, you are not done. Our Creator is teaching you at all times. And the more righteous you are to our Creator, the more you obey Him, the more the text that Jesus, let's see if I have that still up here. The verse here Jesus said, unless your righteousness surpasses that of the scribes, you will not enter my kingdom into heaven. That's a command to you, okay? So the thing here is you should be just not saying, okay, this is what has been given to Mike and he's to give it to us, and we're supposed to exactly know everything I know. Well, I would say you're supposed to know a lot of what I know, but the object is our Creator gives you that level of understanding of what you are and where you're at in your life communicating with our Creator. So you can go through and start correcting the text without me sitting here doing this in front of you. That maybe you come across these and finally said, okay, well, let me see what I can do. And what you'll be doing is when you're communicating with our Creator, well, what does this mean? And you might not know you're talking to our Creator when you say those those words, but you'll see that when you can change one word here and one word here, you're fulfilling what Jesus commanded you to do. So it's a good way for everyone to see where their truth is at, and then refer to the text that when I'm done with this, and I would say to stay with YHVH'S everlasting promises. That's the best text, and I'm still not done with that, even though I've spent probably 25 years putting that together. So still needs changing of a few words. Okay, in this verse, blessed are them when man, not men, man insults, not cast. You don't need the word cast here. Insults or prosecutes them. You don't need to go, Jesus didn't need to say personal you here. He would be referring to everyone when he's speaking. He's teaching everybody. So, blessed are them when man insults or prosecutes them, or say, I should have put an S on that, or speaks. Should be an S here. S here. Speaks, not all kinds of evil, but speaks evil. Evil is evil, and evil is against our Creator, okay? When I'm using words, I'm trying to say that there's wickedness, there's bad, but when it comes down to evil, the only thing that can describe evil is against our Creator, okay? And then you end up understanding blasphemy when Jesus teaches when anyone actually denies our Creator's words in public with other people and says this is not true. I mean, you got a lot of atheists out there that are speaking blasphemy by not knowing that they're preaching or saying against our Creator's words, that when you read them here, and if they're arguing against them, that is blasphemy, and they are not going to enter into heaven. Okay, Jesus defined it that they're not going to enter into heaven. Now, people will say, well, if they change their life and they become good, will they enter into heaven? Yes. But the thing here is Jesus is still going to know their heart, because that blasphemy is weighing heavily against them from entering into heaven. But say there's a proverb that Jesus teaches about those who enter into heaven. And that will come up, but it's like you have to live, Jesus divides the hour of the daylight into 12. And he's got people, a landlord going to the market and asking for people to work in this field, and the reward is whatever he's going to pay him is 1 coin. And he does that. He pays everyone one coin, but he doesn't go to ask the people for the last hour. So in other words, if 1/12 of your life, you better be onto our Creator as best as you can. And then if you've done a lot of blasphemy, I don't think you make it. Okay. I would weigh, because the heaviness of Jesus teaching what blasphemy is, which is speaking against our Creator's words, that is an extreme, and Jesus places that as an extreme when he's teaching. So all this stuff that you see an atheist do and say, I cringe at, because it's kind of like, you don't know that you're never going to be able to get to heaven. So, let's just go on with this. Let me try to get back here and say that evil is a higher, than those other words, wickedness and being bad. So evil is the top level of being, really, against our Creator, against them, not falsely on account of him, or me, as Jesus would say, or speaks evil against them on account of me. This here, Jesus does say later when he's describing blasphemy, he says again that they will be forgiven even if they say these things against me, but not against our Creator. Okay. Now, I might not have the exact definition of the word blasphemy here. I'm still learning, but the object is that you should understand, what you say out of your mouth, you're going to live by, or live forever by. So I don't need the word falsely, but the object here is that's how this verse is going to be cleaned up. I added a comma here. Got to remember I got to add the word S here. And that's how this verse will be cleaned up. So what we have are these. Oh, okay. I was going to say, I don't remember going over some of these words, but that's because there was very little correction, and I'm sorry about that. So this is text that's gone over right now. And like I said, I have a question about the word rewarded. But that's the beginning of Jesus' teaching. And it's all under chapter 5. And 5, we're going to find, is quite long with, as Jesus keeps going on here. And you can see that I have to add, and they will rejoice. They will rejoice for, and it's not because they're going to be glad about a reward. They're rejoicing because the reward is in heaven, okay? Is heaven. To enter ever there, that's why you're glad. You're, okay? And this is what Jesus is teaching all the time, is how to enter into his heaven, or enter into his kingdom in heaven. Great has those, let's see. I'm going to have to start putting all the words back in here. I can't think fast enough while I'm talking here. I think they had it hooked this way. So the word great is not needed, okay? The word soul would probably, so they prosecuted, and they also prosecuted the prophets who were before you. Now, the thing here is for they were prosecuted just like his prophets, and don't need this words before them. I can put these two words down here at the end for the word them. And here Jesus is saying, when a prophet comes and walks among people and people don't believe, they are saying, I received this message from our Creator. and it conflicts with what they are thinking. They will, they call you names. I can speak for this because let me tell you, I can sit there and show people 12 commandments, and they kind of don't thank me for showing them. They're done talking to me because they're so shocked at learning the truth that that isn't what they've come to believe, because it counters their will of what they've been taught. They're brainwashed. And to take this brainwash out of every word in the Bible is correct, well, you can see how easily I'm correcting a lot of the text, okay? Now, yes, it's at a higher level than you'll ever get to, but the object is we're all trying to enter into heaven, and by obeying our Creator, that's our righteousness. Not who edits the text the best, but it's about being truthful, being obedient to our Creator. That's the answer. Everybody will be different. That's what makes us individuals. Our Creator wants one-on-one with us, so you know He exists, and you have that one-on-one with Him, and you have a belief. But the more you learn the truth, the more obedient, your belief comes to a trust point that, yes, I trust. Now this trust is built on a truth, um, because people who believe right now believe there's only 10 commandments. Well, there's 12. There's always been 12, but they haven't studied the text. Nobody stands up at the church or a gathering and says, hey, I found this in the text, and this is what's the truth and not what we've been told. Nobody's willing to stand up for the truth. Nobody wants to have people look at them different. And yet that's what Jesus commanded us to do, is that to surpass the scribes that you see here. There's text that says that they put all this text into for their God later. Did you find that verse? No. When we do, you're going to see that Jesus says this. So the thing here is wake up out there, learn what's being said here, and especially try this on your own for you to have a one-on-one with our Creator. Just keep doing the four Gospels. It is so unique that you will start saying, well, this can't be true because this is not. And who gave you that? Who gave you that? That's the, let me see if I got time to tell a quick story here. Okay. Let's put it this way. If you want to know more about our Creator, I want you to stop with all your studying, quit opening up the books, quit reading. What I want you to do is go to a clock and time yourself by you speaking aloud and say everything you know about our Creator. Just start talking. It doesn't matter where you start. Just start talking and say as much as you can. And then you'll notice that you're starting to repeat. But when you know you're repeating and not saying anything new, time to stop and see the clock. And you'll be surprised that if you go beyond 3-4 minutes, you're doing really good in life. But the object is to put those books down, and as you lay down every night and your eyes are closing, talk to our Creator until you fall asleep. Every night for probably 3 months. Okay? 3 months do this, and do it so you know your heart is right that you're doing this. Okay? And what'll happen is after the end of 3 months, go back to that clock and time yourself. I told this to my friend at work because I told him this is how Noah, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, when they didn't have text, they were talking to our Creator. That's why they knew our Creator existed. They knew that they were learning more about our Creator. And when he did this test, and I told him 3 months, he come back after 2 months and he says, I couldn't wait any longer, but I'm shocked. He says, since I've been 14 years old, I've been in Sunday studies. I run the church, the head today of church. I even tell which preachers can come in and preach and have them preach for us. I'm in control of everything, and I know the Bible. I study it all the time, but I'm shocked. I timed myself, and I ended up talking for over twice as long as what I talked to start with. And I realized that, yes, our Creator taught me just because I was talking to him. And that is all that you really need to know in life, is to talk to our Creator. He will tell you and give you the information to enter into his heaven. Okay. So, that's another way to look at, but, just beginning, I would say, to do that. Just so you can understand that, truthfully, that our Creator is communicating with you. And he's not, we're out of reach. He's right with you. And he's given you your thoughts, believe it or not. That's why I say that, I try to teach that every thought that is given to us will always have a lower thought than the other thought. Okay. And as you keep to the higher thought, even in evilness, even if you're going down evil and you're always thinking evil, there is still one more evil below than the evil that you're given, because our Creator gives you this path. You have to learn. Excuse me. Wow, couldn't find that button fast enough. But the object is to become righteous. You have to obey our Creator. And when Jesus is speaking about how they're prosecuted, you'll be prosecuted just like his prophets. He's telling you that the closer you get to our Creator, the more the people are going to notice you changing your way of speaking. Say you're a 45-year-old guy and you catcall at every woman that walks by, and the guy's, you're laughing and joking. Well, you're still 13. Get out of that and respect and honor everybody, because those are your sisters in life. They aren't strangers, okay? They're part of the family. So quit disrespecting women like that and start honoring them. And what you'll find is that this difference that you brought upon yourself by obeying our Creator, other people are going to notice. And then what they're going to do is point at you and even comment to you to see how your reaction. Well, how come you don't do this anymore? The other day you were laughing with us. Now you're kind of leaving us and sitting over there by yourself. Tough luck for them. You're trying to get closer to our Creator. That changing will cause you to leave the so-called friends. I mean, why would you be hanging around with an atheist if you believe our Creator? Why would you be hanging around with people our Creator said that he doesn't like? Okay. Let me get on here with more of the text. But I went over this pretty much. Let's see how far I can go in the next, say, 10 minutes. To correct this, when it says you are the salt of the earth, it's meaning Jesus needs to speak more than one person. He's speaking about people. So, for they are like the salt of the earth, and that's what he's referring to, those that are being prosecuted of the earth, or if salted. Okay, this is where Jesus talks about being oversalted. I usually go in the text that you can see that I'm reading are oversalted words. I've said that in those other videos, and this is why it is Jesus teaching us that here that if you salt it, it becomes tasty. Okay, although salt it has tasteless. If salted, it becomes tasteless. Well, that's not really true. It becomes more tasty. Okay, so tasteless was changed to tasty. And then if salted, like they had the word again, I put too much, it is thrown out. It's oversalted. It's too much salt for you, so it's thrown out. So the words here are just not truthfully said. If salted, it becomes tasteless. How will it be? How will it be made salty again? Good for nothing except to be thrown out and trampled underfoot by men. The thing here is if it is salted again, then it's too much salt and it will be thrown out, and we don't need to be trampled under by men. People used to throw their garbage out into the road, okay, and right into the street. So I don't know. I know that's what it means to be trampled under men here in this verse, but it doesn't need to be said. This just is truthful. We already know that Jesus is saying it'll be thrown out. So you don't even need this nothing anymore except. Nothing anymore except. I mean, too many words to be just saying the word thrown out. So, for they are like the salt of the earth, for if salted, it becomes tasty. If too salted, thrown out. Now it becomes easy enough to read and understand that, like I was saying, the more you become righteous, that's you're salted, that you become, that this is more that you like being closer to our Creator. You're learning more. You're understanding that you're supposed to talk to our Creator. That is the key here. And then if it's too much, it is thrown out, because what that means is that you like it and now you're starting to make things up if you don't know the truth. Example, just think of all the people that have ever said there are 12 or there are 10 commandments. And then when they understand that there is 12, that they go back to 10. They're putting their own influence on words that have, you enjoy the knowledge and the truth, but then you start rejecting some of the truth. Jesus does talk about this again in a proverb. So, but the thing here is referring to people becoming like the salt of the earth. If it's done right, it becomes tasty, or in other words, it's more truthful and more comforting to that person. But if one is up there preaching and going on and on and on and not really not understanding all the truth, example, Jesus didn't walk on the water. Plain and simple. If you read the text, it says the water was battering the boats. That means there was whitecaps that slowed down the boat on Lake Galilee. And then Jesus did not walk up and down every whitecap. But we have text in the other story, the second story, that the disciples said a ghost. Jesus was gliding over the water, never walked on the water. but the object is because the text is the word walk. People believe the word walk. But when they understand the story, you have to understand that it is that he glided over the water is the truth, and yet they're out there and trying to put their words out there saying that he still walked up and down the water, walked on the water. He didn't glide over it. People will be teaching against this. But because they are in front of people, they're teaching what they know, and if it's wrong, it's oversalting, okay? And it's taking people away from the truth. Like I said, when you speak this, people are going to be pointing to you, and here Jesus is referring to that. What I was saying before, I needed to add the word truth. Don't need to use the word you. Truth is like a light for the world or for the earth. Okay, they have the word world. I have the word earth. That's because the Hebrew text never uses the word world, really. It's usually the earth, and the earth means the land with the water. We have a concept of the world. Let me get back. I only want to keep to one word, okay? Don't need to enter another word from the secular world. Let's just keep to the Hebrew text. The Hebrew text uses the word earth, okay? And then I needed to put a period there. Like a city on a hill, it can be hidden. In other words, the truth becomes what Jesus is referring to is like something that people turn to and look to. In their day, you have to understand fire was the only way to be able to be seen at night, okay? Without stumbling, you need light. So this is Jesus referring that the truth that he is giving is the light for all the earth, and everybody will look to the light, okay? Then he's referring to it, the truth is so great that in the hill country, that when the city was built on a hill, the lights for the city could be seen from far away, and in the daylight, you can't cover up the city. So it's kind of like it just you can't cover it up or hide it. It's just it's there, and you can't deny it once you understand the truth, okay? Or you shouldn't deny the truth. But it did take a little bit of cleaning up and adding quite a few words here to get this verse to read easy and truthful. Truth is like a light for the earth, like a city on a hill, it can't be hidden. Pretty much means what it says. I think I overtalked that one. Man, not men, man, don't need the words nor do, but it does need the word. Man does not light a lamp, okay? Nor do men light lamp. Light the lamp, meaning one lamp in there, but the object is to say it easier, is to say man does not light a lamp to be hidden. They got under a peck measure, okay? What the hell? But the object is put, okay? Put needs to be hidden. They're lighting a light not to be hidden, and we don't need the words under a peck measure. That's just a ridiculous statement. But the object here is to clean it up and make it more simple. Man does not light a lamp to be hidden. For a lampstand is to give light, not it, don't need the word it, to give light. I changed the word from all to everyone, so we don't need the words here, in the home. for the lampstand is to give light to everyone in the home. Well, this means that the lampstand is something that's permanently put in a room for when you came into the room, you would be able to see. Now, you got to understand that there wasn't a 24-hour light system like we have today, but if they were entertaining company late in the evening, then yeah, they would have this. The more wealthy would have a larger home to entertain, would have this maybe more than one lamp given around for people to share um, goodness with each other and friendship. So the thing here is it under a peck measure, don't need that. Being the word put, it can be simply by the put and under a peck measure. All this can be just be put in the word hidden. It doesn't take much to correct the text when you see what I'm doing here. And I didn't change the text. It doesn't, I just made it simpler and easier to understand with less words. Okay. I can see I got to stop here and I will pick up, let's see, 16. So this text that I've done here from the last group, because like I said, it's added from the other work that I've done, but got more into this video and got this much more. So this is the text I just went through, and we'll pick up at verse 17 and continue Jesus's teaching. And hopefully I don't repeat myself 90 times when I'm doing this. I'm just making sure you understand what I'm trying to do with the text. I'm not just changing words to make myself feel happy.